Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another Warzone video on the channel. Today's video we're going to be specifying on exactly how you guys can make your game on console look much better. Better coloring, better sharpness, just overall your game's going to look a lot more crispier and the color's going to pop a lot more. A lot of you guys been asking me this in a lot of other videos and I just decided I want to go ahead and just touch up on it for you guys. Again, I have mentioned this in the past before, but I want to just let you guys know what I'm doing in this year. You know, it's a new year, so hey, I'm going to just give you guys some more tips on how you guys can make your game look better. But with that being said, guys, make sure you guys watch the video all the way through so you guys don't miss any more important tips, because everything we're touching up on is pretty important. Do keep in mind that some of the things I've used in today's video you guys may not have access to, so I just want to give you guys a quick disclaimer before we actually get into this. With it being said, let's go straight into the settings. Alright guys, so when it comes to your settings, there's not much you can do on console you guys already may be aware of. You really only have one setting that you can play around with, which is your colorblind type. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already tried this and seen this in other videos, but basically you can change the way your game looks for the world and for your targets if you switch your colorblind type. You have 3 different options, well 4 total, and you can choose any one of these. These do change the game slightly, but these are not actually what I use to make my game look the way it does. If you guys haven't tried these already, if you guys have never heard of this, you guys can tweak this a little bit. It will help some colors pop. I heard I don't know how to pronounce it. Tridentopia, I think is how it's said. I heard that's one of the best ones for most people. It actually has the most amount of color, or at least when it comes to saturation. But it does change some of the interface colors, so it might be confusing if you're shooting your enemies or your targets or your friendlies or your partners or teammates. So it's up to you guys if you guys want to choose Tridentopia. There's like 3 different options, like I said, you guys can choose, or you guys can have it disabled like I do. But that is the first thing I want to get out the way, because everything else I'm going to be talking about is actually outside of the game. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and give that a shot. And yeah, with that being said, let's go on to step number 2. All right, guys, so step number 2 involves you tweaking a little bit of the settings on your monitor, guys. Now, your monitor or your TV, doesn't matter which one. Usually, most of them actually have some presets for different modes you can have. You have game mode, theater mode, many different types of modes you guys can use. But some TVs also have a saturation or color vibrance tab, and you guys can actually bump that up, and you get a huge color difference in your game. I noticed an immediate just change in overall improvement when it came to colors for all games when I actually played around with the setting on my monitor. And for those of you that are curious, I do have a 27-inch BenQ monitor. It is a Xiaomi, I believe. Do not pronounce that, but that's the monitor I do have, and I do have all of those settings on there. But most TVs today do indeed have a saturation or color vibrance tab, so if you guys do have one of those, go and play with it. I highly recommend it. It makes the game look 10 times better in my opinion. Just to give you guys an idea on exactly how you guys can adjust this, I'm going to go ahead and just turn off my filters for OBS to show you guys, a in-video representation of what it would look like if you were to adjust your, sharpness, your brightness, and your saturation on your monitor. So this right here, guys, is the base game. So what it mainly looks like for those of you that are starting off. You guys may be familiar to these colors, but basically if you do adjust some of those things in your monitor, it will look almost exactly like mine does. Trust me. I've done this so many times. I've done it with many different displays. I have like 3 TVs I've done this on, and all the TVs I own in my house, they all have a saturation or color setting. You guys can also increase your sharpness, because I did play around with that as well in my videos. But yeah, that's basically all you guys can do, and that's all you have to do if you guys are trying to get better colors, better sharpness and brightness on your game. If you guys are wondering how I actually turn it on and off for you guys, I did use a little bit of filters on my OBS, and I also do own a capture card, which is the last thing we'll get into before the video is over. But yeah, guys, I highly recommend you guys try that out if you haven't already. It's a lot of use you guys can use there, and the color is going to be much better. It's going to be more vibrant, and you're honestly going to be able to see players a lot easier when everything doesn't look so washed and blended into each other color. So with that being said, guys, let's go straight into the last tip I have for you guys, which is going to be the Elgato, guys. Now, for those of you that don't know what Elgato is, it's actually a capture card that I'm using when it comes to recording my gameplay. It's actually why I'm able to record in 1080p, or I open my videos in 4K for you guys on PS4. That's mainly how I do. I don't stream or record from my PlayStation. It's all from my PC, and from there I can actually tweak a lot of the settings there. So in my capture card, this may sound pretty crazy, but when I actually adjust the saturation or brightness in the capture card, it also adjusts it, and it makes it brighter and more colorful for me as well as I'm playing in real time. So that's one of the biggest things you guys can do right there without anything else besides the game or your monitor. If you guys do own a capture card, you can totally do that with your PC, but like I said, a lot of you guys probably don't own that, so I do apologize if you guys don't, and there's not much else you guys can do when it comes to color if you guys don't actually own one. But to give you guys a brief explanation, a quick example of what I'm talking about, I'm going to go ahead and just go to my capture card on my computer, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn up the saturation to the game. You guys are going to see saturation or the color in the game just slowly goes from dead to much more colorful. And then of course, guys, I do have filters on, so if I just go and adjust my filters as well on OBS, things are going to get a little bit more brighter, a little bit more easier on the eyes, and it's not going to be as hard to see enemies or look into dark corners. And that's mainly the biggest reason why I actually have these filters on, is to make the experience for you guys much more enjoyable, while making it more enjoyable for myself, because obviously I don't want to look at a super dead and washed game. I know a lot of you guys don't actually like all the colors, in Warzone you guys feel like it should be a more of a darker and grayer feeling because it is a realistic game. But for me, I feel like I just love color. I just love, having saturated things. So hey, it just works for me. If it doesn't work for you guys, obviously you guys don't have to follow these. You guys can turn up the saturation a little bit. It does not have to be as vibrant as mine is. Keep that in mind, guys. Do not, you don't have to make the game look as vibrant and colorful as mine. You guys can just up the color a little bit, or you guys can decrease the color if you guys feel like it's too saturated. I've gotten a lot of comments of you guys saying that you guys don't like how saturated my game is, which I agree. I feel like it is pretty saturated, but it is the most enjoyable for my viewers. I have a lot, viewers that say they love it, and therefore that's why I kept it. But with it being said, guys, those are all the things I have for you guys and tips on how you guys can make your game look 10 times better on console. If this actually helped you guys out, you guys learned something new, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and post notifications so you guys don't miss any more videos on the channel. We're going to be touching up on a lot of great tips for you guys on console. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and understanding always.